Hey folks, I thought I'd share a solution to the puzzle I posed last Saturday, and I thought I'd also show you how to make a screen recording, at least on the Mac, while you're at it. And that is by using QuickTime Player, which I have running already, since otherwise you couldn't see this. But to find it, what you need to do is click on Launchpad here, and you don't have to search. I just type a Q here and it comes up because there's no other app that starts with Q. So that's easy enough to do. I'm going to hit escape here because I already have QuickTime running. But what you can do is click on File, New Screen Recording. It's grayed out because I'm recording right now, and then proceed from there. And then you'll get a little icon up here which you can click to stop the recording, which I'm not going to do right now. But let's go to MakeCode. I'm going to start a new project, and for grins, I'm going to turn on the video background. So I click on the gear here, and the trick is to go to green screen. And at first, you get a green screen, which you can use for camera trickery. But what you can also do is just turn the camera on. And I showed you that in class, and that's what I'm doing here. And you can do it, you get a mirror image. So what you can do is point to things and so forth. So actually, we're not going to need the forever loop here, so I'll get rid of that right away. And let's start by making a variable, and we'll call this variable position, which will be the position of the lit pixel on the circuit playground. Okay, let's be good programmers and initialize the setup here. So let's get an on start block, and let's set the position to 0. Now, every time we change this variable, we're going to have to update the pixel position. So let's handle this right away with a function. So I'll make a function here and just call it update. And what do we want to do? We want to illuminate only the pixel pointed to by position. So there are other strategies, but I'm going to take the strategy of first turning all the pixels off. You can use the wheel, but that's kind of tedious. I prefer to just use this little instruction here. And then let's turn on the pixel corresponding to the value of position. And that might be a little hard to find if you're not used to it, because it is way down here for some reason. So let's set the pixel at, let's get an instance of the variable. So set pixel at position 0 to red. And and we have, let's call the function to set that up. And obviously I plan to call the function elsewhere, or there would be no point in having it. So you can see over here, let's see, I can't point over the simulator, but you can see that the red pixel is on there. So that's our start. Okay. So increasing position numbers is counterclockwise. And so let's make the A button cause the pixel to go counterclockwise by adding to or incrementing the position value. So let's get a button input here. Now in class, I was thinking too fast and neglected to notice that, as well as a set block for a variable, there is a change one. So that does the trick here. It's basically saying add 1 to position. And having done that, we have to make sure that when position reaches 9, the next one will be 0 again, so that it will loop around. So let's get a conditional clause here. Oops, here we go. Okay, now at this point, I'm going to do the little trick of switching to JavaScript temporarily because I don't want to drag all these blocks around. I'm claiming that I know what I'm doing and it will be easier to just type it. So let's go to JavaScript, and you know what? Let me turn off so that we have better contrast here. Here we go. So what we want to do is say if position is greater than 9, wrap it around to 0 again. So we'll say if position, let's see, POS, and I immediately get some help here. So let me see. I think I can press either return or tab. Tab actually makes more sense here, at least conceptually, because I don't really want to start a new line. And then I can continue typing and say positions. Wait a second. Oh, I accidentally made the variable plural. So I'll just leave it right now because it's a little awkward, but we're not going to get confused. So if position is greater than 9, let's just go down here. Whoops, I didn't want an extra line. I just wanted to go into that clause now. So I'm just going to press the down arrow and say position, that's getting awkward, equals 0. And I'm going to add some semicolons here. Notice that the increment operator in JavaScript is plus equal, which is just shorthand for saying position equals position plus 1. The increment is done so frequently in coding that you get a little shorthand for it. So this is the same thing. Let me just show you. Oh, I need an equal sign here. Equals positions plus 1. Okay? So that's what we're accomplishing here. And let me just change that back to plus equal because that's something you should be really familiar with. Okay, plus equals. Got it. Okay, let's go back to blocks. And just a caution, which I already shared, not all JavaScript expressions can translate back to blocks. So you need to be, if you want to stay in block world, you have to be a little bit careful about what you do. But it's not permanent. If you do something that doesn't translate back, you can go back to JavaScript and remove it, and the blocks will come back. Okay, let's test what we have so far and see if the A button works. So, I forgot to update. So let's do an update function call. So let's get update and snap it down here. Okay, now we should be good to go. Let's see if this works. And it does. You can see that the red LED is lighting up. And now we're on position 9, and we should go back to 0 on the next press. And it works. Okay, so let's just add a button to make it go the other way around. We can do that by modifying this code. So duplicate and make this button A. So now we want to go in the opposite direction. So we just change this to -1. And what do we want to do here? If we go negative, that is less than 0, we want to wrap around to 9 again. So we'll change this comparison to 0, and then say if less than 0, we want to set it to 9. And let's look at the JavaScript just for grins. And you can see we used the shorthand again. And hey, it took my semicolons out, I think. That's annoying. This is proper JavaScript, but I think using the semicolons is neater. They're not always required. They are required sometimes in ambiguous situations. So let's see if it's... yeah, it gets rid of them. Doggone it. Oh, well. Okay, well, and it also moved my blocks around. Busybody. Okay, so clockwise and counterclockwise, let's see if we wrap around to 9, and we do. So that's it. Let me stop this now. I'm going to have to say goodbye because I won't be able to talk after you see this. So enjoy.